Everyone, my name is Gita and I'm a blogger for my life at BCIT, and I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the nursing program. So this evening I had the chance to be a student volunteer for the BCIT BSN info session, and each of the levels came up and we were able to tell you a little bit about what happens and why we chose BCIT, so I thought I'd share it for the online viewers. And don't worry, I'll link a copy of the presentation in one of my later blog posts because it just happened. They're going to need a little bit of time. So first, why did I choose BCIT? I have a science background. I went to UBC for 4 years and I got a degree there, and I realized about 3.5 years into my degree that I really didn't want to work in a lab for the rest of my life. And I missed that people aspect. So I looked into some nursing programs, and a friend of mine was at BCIT, and so she suggested that I do the day in the life. And so basically what you do there is you follow around a level 1 student, that's a first year student, just to see what sort of the classes are like and how the lab works, and get a chance to experience what it's like. And so I did that with a student named Nadia, and I really enjoyed it, and she answered all my questions that I had, and it was a really cool experience. So I decided to choose BSAT just because I felt like what I was learning in my other school was great, but I didn't know why I was learning it, and I didn't know how to apply it. Whereas at BCIT, whatever I learn, I use the next day in clinical or the next week in clinical, which is great. I also am an experiential learner, so I can read something 20 different times in a textbook and not really understand what's happening, but I do it once and I'm like, okay, great, now I know. And so that's why I chose BCIT. A day in the life of a BCIT student. So for me, I'm in level 3, which means that it's broken up into 2 semesters. So the first one is family, which means that you do your clinical rotations in pediatrics and in obstetrics. And right now I'm in the other half, which is in mental health. And right now I'm at St. Paul's. So it's really interesting. Clinical is always something new. There's a lot of things to learn. A lot of communication skills are in level 3, especially in mental health. A day in the life on campus. I'm on campus 2 days a week. I'm on campus on Mondays and Tuesdays right now. And so for example, today was a Monday, so I had class from 12:30 to 2:30 was immunology. And then from 2:30 to 5:30 was my PBL class, which is problem-based learning, where we take a patient scenario and we decide what we want to learn as a group. So that's something unique to BCIT, is we value that you're adults, and we decide what we want to learn. So for example, one of the scenarios included a girl that was cyberbullied, and one of the presentations today was about cyberbullying, because a lot of us weren't cyberbullied because computers and all this new stuff that's coming in. So we were able to have a presentation on that, and we were able to ask questions and have a dialogue. So it's a different way of learning. And so another question that we answered tonight was coping skills for the program. The program is intense. Like, don't get me wrong, I did the whole university thing, and BCIT is a difficult program to manage on your own. So coping skills would be your peers. I mean, I can't stress enough how important it is to be able to rely on the people that you're in the program with. They're amazing. Each person that comes to BCIT is unique. We have all different backgrounds, so it's really great to get to know your fellow students. I'd say other coping techniques, we call it self-care. And so that's things that you already know. So things like sleeping, things like eating properly, exercising, taking time for yourself. So coping things for me would be calling some of my best friends who don't live in the city. So calling them and ranting to them for a minute just because they're outside of my nursing life, and just catching up with them. In terms of support, BCIT is great because we have a wonderful counseling office. There's actually a counselor there who's specific for the nursing program, so they understand everything that we're going through, and they're able to help with time management, any anxiety that you might have for clinical days, assertiveness, because that's part of the skills that we learn as being a nurse, is being assertive and talking to parts of the healthcare team and to doctors and to difficult patients. But yeah, so the counseling team is a really good support. We also have a gym, which you'll see in my last blog post. We have a wonderful library, great study spaces, and some group study spaces upstairs, and study rooms that you can book. So yeah, there's lots of support if you need it. Financial aid is also very, very important. So they'll give you information about bursaries and student loans and different scholarships that BCIT offers. And the last question that we were asked tonight was the impact that BCIT has had on us so far. And I think that across the board, we all sort of said the same thing of we didn't realize what an impact it would have on ourselves. Like, we knew that we were coming to BCIT for nursing. That's why we applied. That's why we're here. But I think one of the important things to realize is that in a program like this, you're going to be learning a lot about yourself. And sometimes it's kind of scary. There's a lot of reflection. There's a lot of going into why you're doing this and the reasoning behind your actions. And I think that's a really cool skill to develop. So you develop your leadership skills and you develop your interpersonal communication skills. So conflict resolution, dealing with difficult situations at work, learning to talk to managers and to doctors and to your coworkers. So it's really cool. All in all, the session tonight was really interesting. So basically we went over what the program looks like. We heard from us students, and then there was a program advisor. And so again, I will link that to another blog post, but just thought I'd give you a little cap about why I chose BCIT and why you should too. If you have any questions, hop back over to the My Life blog and post them there, and I will get back to them as soon as possible. Have a great night, guys. Bye!